Hey guys, good to see you. Oh man, I was expecting there to be a bit of a delay before people showed up like last time, so I wasn't talking for the first few seconds. Anyway, you haven't seen this yet, Dreamo, but this is Sunless Sea. Last time we created a captain by the name of Kitty, who is a street urchin who became too old for the urchin gangs and decided to go to sea with the score they got from the last heist they pulled. Her goal is to find the bones of her father, which, she's an urchin, so kind of important there. Anyway, important thing, we're no longer technically in Iron Man mode because it fucks with the saves. Basically, there's no dedicated save files for Iron Man. It's all done through the autosave, so in order to actually keep a save around, I had to do a manual save. Don't worry, I will still play it as if it is an Iron Man mode, which basically just means if I die, I die. Which doesn't matter because I'm not going to die. Anyway, let's pull up Kitty. Hey, Frog! Good to see you. By the way, can you all hear the music just fine? Took me a while to set up the audio, so it worked. Hey, business! Ah, God, everyone's here. Let me just, activity share, so... Awesome! Great, because the first stream, hearing the music was a bit of a problem because of the software I was using, but I have switched software to XSplit, and now it seems to be working fine. Yes, the Lady Black ending. Technically, that's an ending to the game, and it's not a win. The only way you can win is by doing one of the ambitions, one of which we pick at the beginning of the game, and there's two more that you can switch to as the game goes on. But there's a difference between death, ending the game, which is counted as a draw, and winning the game. Essentially, the Lady Black ending is a draw, which is bullshit because it should be counted as a win. So, today, last time we went north. Let me pull up the map real quick to show our path. We started out here in London, which is the starting area always, went north around Venderbite to Wither and Codex, then east to Mount Palmerston, then southeast to the Shepherd Isles, slight detour to the Sea of Lilies, and back around Pigmote Isle to London. We've basically explored the northwest portion of the map. Today, our goal is all the way down here. We are going to head south, attempting to fill out some of these areas along the way. Towards the Elder Continent. South in the Neath is a place called the Elder Continent, where everyone who lives there is basically immortal because of their proximity to a gigantic mountain of light. and they are hoarding the immortality for themselves, which is very rude. Let's just see if there's anything else we needed to do. We got all our port reports in. We've got an acceptable amount of crew. Having more crew can actually be kind of a curse sometimes, because having more crew means more mouths to feed, which means your hunger goes up faster, which means your supplies run out faster, which means you have to resort to cannibalism. So with that in mind, let's buy a couple more supplies. 9 should be good. We have plenty of fuel. So much so that we probably don't have to worry about it for quite a while. We can... You know what? 2 more supplies to match the fuel. I suppose it does, but unfortunately, to actually unlock the cannibalism option, you have to have already become a cannibal somewhere else. There's a few places in the game where you can get the ability, but just being starving is not quite enough to put you over the edge. This individual of indeterminate gender is still here to buy our stuff, but we don't have anything to sell him at the moment besides some stories, and we need those for other things. The Roser's Wharf is essentially a random market. They'll buy random things from around the game, and each time something is bought or you use this third option, it refreshes itself with new sale opportunities. It's essentially a early version of the more robust trading system in the sequel to this game, which is still in development. We still want to get meter salt for Slivy to continue looking for our dad's bones. We still live in a room above an inn and can't really do anything else. We should probably try to fix that as soon as possible, because getting a townhouse is one of the early ways to increase your chances of survival in this game. And I think that's about it. Full hull. Can't get terror much down below 25, unfortunately. Yeah, I've heard there's been, issues with the Super Robot Wars series. Yeah, Dreamer, this game is amazing. It's probably my favorite game in general. And one of the amazing things about it is that everything looks so good from top down. Let me get rid of the gazetteer for a second. This is your home port of London, and you've got your ship there in the center. And just look at how much detail has been put into these buildings that pretty much do nothing, because there's never really a situation where something needed to be this detailed. Anyway, let's cast off. To re-explain some of the mechanics for Dreamer, up in the upper left, you have a speed meter. It actually works very much like a real ship. You can go full speed ahead, half speed ahead, not moving, and backwards. Then you have the fuel meter, which goes down by movement and using your lights. And oh hey, random event. Well, don't worry, Dreamer. We'll go back to the Sisterhood eventually. But anyway, we have a random event here. Burning blue. A hiss of horror from the lookout. The glim lamp at the front of the ship is sputtering and arcing, fizzing with blue light. Even as you watch, the blue fades, but it's not a good omen. So now we oh no, business, don't worry, there was not a second stream. It's only the first stream. But yeah, so we can use one of our Z stories, which we actually need right now, to calm down the crew with a story, or we can perfectly rational explanation this. And since we need the Z stories for our ambition at the moment, I think we're going to perfectly rational explanation this and do a check. These up here are our stats: iron, mirrors, veils, pages, and hearts. Charlatan, yes. So let's see if we can get the 74% chance to calm the sailors down. Successful. The darkness in the Neath is more than the absence of light. It's a physical presence which distorts the shape of the world. Your light melts the darkness, restores sanity to the world. You explain something of this to your sailors. It's not the first time they've heard it, but they seem slightly less nervous. So we succeeded. That means we don't get an increase in terror, which is up here, and basically shows how close the crew are to a nervous breakdown. And we also gained a fragment, which is essentially experience. No, it's this is in fact the truth. Yeah, it was basically whether you could, hearts inspire, heal, defend. Sometimes helps with tests around terror. Basically, you had to explain the truth convincingly for the sailors to inspire them to not be freaked out. And we successfully did it. In fact, the lie option would have been using the Z story to spin a tale about what the blue light means. Anyway, here's a crab. Ooh, managed to take that out before we got hit. Crabs tend to just charge you. Yeah, there's actually several enemies in this game that are crabs. Most of them look like this kind of crab, but there is one specific enemy in the underwater areas that is a different kind of crab. Anyway, we could butcher this for supplies and take down our hunger, or we could dissect it for knowledge, which is a pages challenge, 77%, and would get us a few fragments. So last time I believe we butchered the crab when we ran into one. So let's dissect this one. A crab full of conundrums. I love that title. You set to work with your knives and acids. It is an undistinguished adolescent specimen, a megalops, of one of the deep-sea crab species. But its eyes, normally vestigial in these troglodytic beasts, are large and rather beautiful. The golden glow is almost gone now, although sparks leap now and then to your knife. Yeah, the percentage chance system, these are very easy checks for the record. We have actually very low stats. The one stat we're really good at is Veils, which is our stealth. And that's because, we were a street urchin. Of course we were stealthy. So, Mutton Island is basically just to the south of London. I'll stop here to gather a port report. And yeah, there's a lot of really good prose in this game. They actually occasionally make fun of that when we gathered a port report at the Sisterhood, they mentioned the only danger here was, quote, a certain purpleness of prose. Anyway, Mutton Island. Once this simple fishing village was part of the London suburbs before London fell and the waters rushed in. Smoke spirals from cottage chimneys. A lonely hill rises behind town. So we have something awaits you, which is a quality that shows up every now and then. Do you see that small lantern on the logbook in the lower left-hand corner? Basically, when that lantern is there, it means that you've spent enough time at sea that you can do things in port. Basically, the system is there so that you don't just, like, do every single thing that you can possibly do in a single port the first time you get there. And there's a couple things we can do. Visit a hilltop above town for a pages challenge. Chat to the fisherman for 1 echo to get a port report. Explore the shore. Have a drink at the Cock and Magpie pub. And buy supplies and fuel, which they're slightly more expensive than you get them at London, but this is good if you're, like, almost there but don't quite have enough fuel to make it all the way back to London. So you can grab some here for slightly more stuff. Let's go ahead and explore the shore first. Take a stroll along the beach. Perhaps the Z has brought you something. Driftwood, something glinting, or a nasty glob of goo. I don't actually remember what this one does, so I'll just go ahead and take the nasty glob of goo because that's the kind of person I am. Wrap it in cloth and carry it cautiously back to the ship. Perhaps it contains something less disgusting. We get an unprepossessing mass item. Basically, this is an item that you normally get by killing Z monsters, the larger ones, and it's essentially a random item. When you cut this open and it'll have something inside. And there is probably something horrible inside, but possibly there is not. We can throw it overboard to lose some terror. Yeah, this is essentially a loot box, except you can just get them through killing things normally with no experience system, so it's slightly less predatory. Also, you can't buy them. Oh no, we're actually nowhere close to being killed. We have no wounds. Nothing in this game outright kills you. Well, a couple things do, but they warn you in advance. But some things do wound you, and at 3 wounds you die. You also die if your ship's hull drops below 0. So, choice cuts. It won't keep, but it looks tasty. So, I'm assuming this is just gonna undo our hunger. Yep, lost 28 hunger, down to 0. Bland but sustaining. It's rather like eating trout if the trout had tried to kill you a few hours ago. Take that, Airsat's trout. As for the rest of Quaker's Haven, now that we've used up our something awaits you quality, we should chat to the fishermen. They sail the Z around the island, they mend their nets by the harbor. They see all that happens here, but you'll need coin to open their mouths. Oh, no, you check your wounds in your journal. I'll show you in a moment. Pirates plying the waves, smugglers at their work, con ships putting in to resupply. Nothing dramatic, but enough to interest the Admiralty. We could pick up a Wretched Mog, which is a very nasty cat, as a mascot, but we already have a good mascot, a little albino rat that helps around the place. So, and also just having the cat with you means you can't do a couple of things. Anyway, so I don't have any. But in this, the journal keeps track of all of your qualities. So, for example, some of our current objectives, like to retrieve strategic information from this place. Oh, how does a cat hold you back? One of the dry dock options in London, you can get some rats to repair your ship for you for the cost of supplies instead of money. But if you have the cat, the rats refuse to work on your ship. On the other hand, there's a couple of land battles that you can get into that normally lose you crew unless you're lucky. But you can essentially trade in the cat to win those land battles single-handedly for you. It'll be like pirates set upon you, and you have the option to fight them or run, and both of them are bad options. But if you have the cat, then the cat just kills the pirates. Anyway, that's, I think, about all we really need to do. The terror reduction here is a bit expensive, and we don't need to buy anything. So, goodbye, Mutton Island. As a note, the light does consume fuel, but it also makes terror go up less fast. The cat is a good safety net, but I've never found it to be something you really need, and it's sometimes not worth losing the repair option in London. Oh, I almost forgot. The third way to die is losing all of your crew. So you die when your hull reaches 0, your crew reaches 0, or you yourself gain 3 wounds. Oh yes, I almost... Oh wait, before anything else, we have to fight a jellyfish. Or a gillifleur. Oh, 2 gillifleurs! No, wounds can be gotten rid of, but it's hard to do. And there's not a lot of places at sea you can do it. Ah, damn. So, the reason I've done this, oh, no, I love the questions. Do not worry at all about the questions, Dreamo. It's time-based. Basically, it's the little thing that pops up around the weapon is time to find a firing solution. Wounds aren't common, they're still pretty rare, but it's hard to get rid of them. But yeah, finding a firing solution, you can fire before they found a full firing solution. A full firing solution always hits. You can fire before then, but depending on how much of a firing solution you have, it might miss. Anyway, we looked at the weird face on top of this gillifleur and got a Z story from it. And yeah, please, I love answering questions about this game. It's one of my favorite games, and I actually have a lot of knowledge of, like, the systems behind it, so I can tell you most anything you want to know. I know we said we were going south, but I actually realized that we need to make a quick pit stop somewhere in the area. I don't know exactly where, but it's essentially somewhere around this area. See, the map reshuffles itself on every new game, but tiles always stay in certain specific places. And hey, what luck, we found the exact place we did this. Oh, the other ships going around, I'm not entirely sure what you're asking, Dreamo. Are you asking about attacking random other ships? Also, I'd just like to point out that we have just run across 2 giant sphinxes in the middle of the ocean. Oh, the only way you can interact with other ships is attacking them, and you can attack pirates willy-nilly, but if you attack a regular ship, then unlike when you kill things normally, where your terror goes down, your terror goes up if you attack an innocent ship that didn't attack you first. Or more like a merchant ship. You can attack pirates first. Anyway, so these are the salt lions. And I just realized I've completely screwed up the order on this and I need to go back to Hunter's Keep. We will be back, salt lions. Yeah, normally killing anything in this game, because it was a hard fight, Frog, I'm going to actually go over that in just a minute, because we have to go back to Hunter's Keep to grab something. And, yeah. Sorry, I'm doing this in a specific order in order to take care of a large portion of a quest right off the bat. But I forgot, in the excitement of the stream, I forgot that I had to go to Hunter's Keep first. The gods of the sea are called Storm, Stone, and Salt. And hey, here's a pirate. This one only is the very weakest pirate in the game. It only has 30 hull. And it does 5 damage per hit. There's like evasive maneuvers you can take to make enemies not hit you as well. But with the engine we currently have, none of them are really all that good. And we got something from this ship. A crate of fuel, like we needed more fuel. I'm actually going to turn off the light for a bit because we're running a bit weirdly low. Where was I? I've completely lost my my train of thought. But yes, I'll just go with Gods of the Sea, alright? The Gods of the Sea, Storm, Stone, and Salt. Oh hey look, giant crab. That is a Western angler crab, and we are not badass enough to fight it at the moment, so I am just going to go around it. And yes, the implication that it is a crab that works like an anglerfish is absolutely the case. It's got little glowy things to lure prey in. Yeah, that's exactly twice our maximum hull. Anyway, this is Hunter's Keep. We learned last time that the people living here are 3 sisters and their maid, who very much enjoy having tea with visitors, but are also a bit weird. So what we need to do is have lunch with Cynthia. Yeah, our iron score is damage increase, so combined with that and we have a currently really shitty weapon, there's just not much. Anyway. Oh, something has changed? Yeah, the weird... I think that just is something that happens from time to time at Hunter's Keep. Anyway. Let's talk to Cynthia, because I believe she's who we need to talk to. Yep. Luncheon with the sisters, Cynthia. Cynthia is the eldest, melancholy, pensive, occasionally dramatic. Cynthia grasps your arm and whispers to you. Her eyes are wide and blue, her hair is wild and tangled. Bats might nest in it. It seems to you that you are sitting on a hillside above a wide blue lake, listening to the story of a murder. An axe, a net, blood on scented water. Another chop? Cynthia asks. You've barely touched your food. Here, I'll have the maid wrap something up for you. You can't be hungry. It's not safe to be hungry. We gained some supplies, we lost all our current hunger, and most importantly, we now have Salt's attention of the Gods of the Sea. Salt is the most, I'd say, enigmatic god. We kind of know who the other 2 are if you know the story's lore. Salt is completely unique to this game, although the other two appear in this game's sister game, Fallen London. And Salt is the only one that doesn't actually have, like, a very clear identity. You remember I was talking about the Elder Continent having a living mountain of light? You know, maybe I should tell you guys about the secret ambition, because business is closer than he thinks. Or she. I actually don't know what you go by business. You know what? I'll go ahead. So, Dreamo, you know how you love the concept of, like, people becoming conceptual beings? And that's why you like Wall? Well, one of the endings of this game has you essentially becoming Salt, the concept of travelers. Yeah, it's a hell of a lot of fun. It is one of the most demanding ways of winning the game, though. The first step can easily get you killed. Oh, shoot. That's not good. Full steam ahead. Oh. It figures. The first time I try to use the full steamer option is when my engines explode. This can happen sometimes, and it can lose you crew. We managed to save the sailors, but we lost some of our hull. That was a very unfortunate sequence of events. Okay, let's turn our light off so the crab doesn't see us. Oh, yeah, it's an amazing game. I'm actually so obsessed with this game that, with one exception, which is essentially play the game for 10 years straight, in-game years, but it's still longer than any game would reasonably go, I have gotten every single achievement on Steam because I am so obsessed. Oh, bloody hell, we've steamed right past the Salt Lions. I swear I'm good at this game. I honestly am really good at this game. I get distracted, okay? Shut up. Hi, crab. Okay, now we can finally do the thing. Pull in at the Salt Lions. There is a vast sorrow in their empty eyes. Now, normally we could visit the Unmakers, who are people who are mining these sphinxes for Sphinx Stone. The game's actually, I think, somewhere around 15, 20 bucks at the moment. I haven't checked in a while, though. But yeah, this would, in general, just sitting with people and talking to them lowers terror. But we actually need to do something else. Salt's rights. The face of the northern sphinx is all but gone. Lost faces are sacred to Salt, they say. You are drawn there. To what end? Salt's voice is distant but clear. No, actually we do. Straight up. This is going to increase our terror by 7, but it's going to get us something we need. To do this, we need to have 0 or fewer extraordinary implications. Oh yeah, House of Many Doors is, it's definitely a game that is based on this, and the creators of this game actually supported the House of Many Doors Kickstarter, and were very helpful, but for my money, House of Many Doors is just a less well-written game. And I never had enough interest in it to play past, like, the first, I don't know, 10 minutes. Anyway, let's do Salt's rights. Dive from the Sphinx's face, down, a clear arc into the Z's chilly darkness. Float there in the quiet until your lungs are bursting. Until light blooms behind your eyes. Rise gasping to the prickle of false stars, the shocked faces of your crew. You've brought something with you. So now we're at 45 terror, which is not a great amount of terror, but we can roll with it. We'll probably have to drop off at London halfway through this run, but that's fine. And we now have an extraordinary implication, which is what this whole thing was for. We need this to get our submarine. We can also compile a port report, which will be useful to get some money back in London. Yeah, I have a tendency in this game to freak out my crew a lot because I'm kind of a crazy person. Also, if you notice the logbook, it has some very creepy things in it occasionally. Just none of the things that are stated in the logbook, there's basically 2 things. Aside from feeding the crew, which is just letting you know whenever you get to 50 hunger, it'll give both random creepy things, say when you've discovered things, and say when you have, see what popped up right now? The false stars above are feral amber, like tiger's eyes. Stamford's Expanse, named for one who lost his child to cats. Basically, what that means is you've entered a specific area. And we know this area is Stamford's Expanse. Areas always have the same islands. Anyway, this is the Isle of Visage. Visage is one of the 2 islands in this game who were designed by Kickstarter backers who pledged, I think, like $1,000. Both of those islands are probably some of the most interesting little bits of random creepiness in the game. Visage. Hide your face. Hide all your faces. This is the port of Visage, where faces may not be naked. Yep, it is in fact Mask Town. Except one, a stone monument the size of a village church, seemingly serenely gazing upward. Flourishing of years. Unfortunately, we're not gonna do anything here for the moment because we don't have an item that we need to do this story, and like it says, once you set foot on Visage, you may be here for a little while. We can, however, create a port report. A departing merchant gives you a confused account of crocodiles and honey cakes and something about ear blockage? To this you add your own impressions about the street layout close to the port and the types of commerce here. When the lights are especially bright, it is possible to make out the details of the profile on the great stone face. Yeah, no, actually, if you take your mask off, you're thrown out of the island. I actually, since we have to circle around twice, and now that I know that this is here, the next time we come by here this session, I might grab the item we need and at London and actually do this storyline. Oh yeah, no, stealing people's masks is super illegal. So these are fog banks, by the way. They're one of 3 random weather effects in the game. 2 of them are specific to certain areas. Basically what fog does is it hides you better, but also it makes essentially charging your weapons go longer because the people who are aiming can't see. You don't need to have the item, it's just to get the best ending for that area. And to be fair, it's an item that the only reason I don't have it is because I don't use them that much. They're a basic ship item. Oh yes, the music? So this music is about to become really, really funny in a second, considering the place we're going here. This is the Iron Republic, and I'll explain why the music is hilarious in just a moment. Hell's clan state. Be wary. Their laws are not the laws of man or nature. Basically, the Iron Republic is what happened when Hell, like the forces of Hell, decided they wanted to make a completely free city. Factory engines roar like false lions. Blood thunders in the dock pipes. Crimson lightning skitters across the deck, leaps to the rail, curls there like a cat. The city is reflected in glassy calm harbor water. The citizens there have the heads of dogs and serpents. Hell has brought freedom to the Iron Republic. Freedom from all laws, even those of nature. So you know why this place has such happy music? Laws don't apply in the Iron Republic. The law of appropriate music was broken. So the Iron Republic just has the happiest, jauntiest theme tune. So what can we do here? The main reason I stopped off here is because we actually are running a bit low on fuel, and buying fuel here is cheaper than London. Let's go up to 14. In addition, we could pick up the irrepressible cannoneer, who is a gunnery officer. These are our current officers. She's just a straight upgrade over the Longshanks gunner we started out with, but the Longshanks gunner is a character that, as of last time, we are trying to woo. So she'll still be around for a while. But the cannoneer is a straight up stat upgrade for 20 echoes, so we should take advantage of that. Captain, are you looking for a gunner? I'm looking for a ship. Here are my references. Here are more references. Here's my design for a whistling shell. Here's my colleague. He'll stay on shore. Here's my hand. Will you take it? Welcome aboard. Oh, this is interesting. Room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. Wait, let me make notes. Paper! Yeah, the cannoneer is the most chipper person in the entire game, and almost nothing ever phases them. Cheery enthusiasm is a welcome but unnerving trait in a gunner. what can I do for you? I have lists. She can help you increase your iron skill, which is damage. But it's a bit more costly than the Longshanks Gunner's iron increase, since it can actually harm your ship if you're unlucky. But the Longshanks Gunner can increase your stats up to 50, whereas the Irrepressible Cannoneer can increase it up to 100. Oh, no, I have no idea what gender the Irrepressible Cannoneer is, so I just go ahead and say whatever. And that's also how the game likes it, because they'll often, the game itself and Fallen London will often switch characters' genders on the fly. Yep, laws of gender abolished. So yeah, if I refer to anyone in this game by a definite gender, know that I am absolutely talking out of my ass. And the other thing we can do here is compile a port report, which trying to make order out of chaos is never really a good idea, but let's see what we can manage. The sensations of the Republic are overwhelming. This is a desire for years. That is a hatred for fountains. Here is an emotion that can only be expressed mathematically. Now you are awash with a nostalgia for the hatching of the egg. Write it down. Write it all down. Perhaps you'll be rid of it. We did manage to get a port report, and being here can change our stats in unpredictable ways. Yeah, no worries. No worries, Dreamo. I get it. Lunch is important. Anyway, we've gotten what we needed here. So let's head a bit further south. As I recall, the thing directly south of the Iron Republic is pretty cool, so I should technically just make a beeline for Port Carnelian to save fuel, but showing you guys cool things takes priority. Actually, no, yeah. Okay, so we get this one again. This tends to happen a lot. And we still can't afford to lose that Z story. We got it it was very hard won from a jellyfish, so... Yep, we've managed to successfully calm the same sailors again with the exact same explanation. So this is Castle Clare. Some places in the... oh dear, that... I really hope they don't fire at us, because that is a very, very badass ship. Okay, panic. Need to swing around Castle Clare to break their line of sight. Oh, fuck, it was a torpedo. Shit. This is not good. We lost a crew, and we're down in the red. Change of plans. I was going to show you the cool thing down here, but we do in fact have to go. That is a Bahi mustache. I'm not actually going to fight it, I just wanted to show that it's called the Bahi mustache. So here we go. This is the place we were planning to go. Port Carnelian. Which is funny because it's mostly known for its sapphire mines. The place was named before they found the mines. Fallen London's sole imperial possession. Treasure it. Oh, that was a whirlpool. Anyway, Port Carnelian has its own cool stuff going on. One of the little things is there's 3 different ways we can get a port report by talking to the various... It doesn't actually change the content of the report. It just goes with who you talk to about it, just entirely plot-wise. There's basically 3 options here because Port Carnelian is constantly being... It's basically a colony from London, but it's also kind of under partial control by 2 other factions. Colony at Heart's Cross House, where the governor administers this distant fleck of Her Majesty's empire. That's you talking to the official London people there. Talking to a tiger in the Blue Bazaar. The Carnelian Coast's padding natives are eloquent, placid, and acerbic, most of the time. For the record, when they say tiger, they don't mean, like... It's not a insulting term for someone of Indian descent. They mean an actual, literal tiger. And as for the room above a bookshop, it's a diplomat from the New Connaught, the previous settlers of the underwater cave, who were Mongolian. They were expelled from Port Carnelian following the Galatea incident. Yeah, honestly, in this setting, assuming the weirdest thing possible is usually not a bad idea. So let's go ahead and talk to a tiger. The Blue Bazaar is Port Carnelian's great indoor market, arched, lofty, plush with patterned carpets where the vendors display their wares. Most of all, awash with gossip. The tiger is well informed. A black-hulled Connaught trireme prowled the coast last night, a rifle shot from shore. Shipments from the sapphire mines have slowed. The governor's aide was left-handed on Tuesday and right-handed on Wednesday. Okay. But the important thing we have to do here is talk to the fierce philanthropist. Her house is built in the tall porticoed London style. Red brick and white plaster. Decorative iron railings painted black. Its mistress is the subject of intense colonial gossip. Independently wealthy, an industrialist's daughter, a widow, unwelcome in London. What then does she want with you? An invitation arrived as soon as you docked. We can decline her invitation, which would be a terrible idea, or accept it. It wouldn't hurt to have the backing of a wealthy benefactor. You expected a sizable gathering, but it's just you, her, and a decanter of admirable sherry. She's not a small woman, and comprehensively occupies her armchair. She wears sensible satins and sensible shoes. Her hair is impeccably curled. I've heard a number of shocking things about you, Captain, all of which I consider thoroughly promising. Her accent has a hint of Midlands melancholy to it. She must have spent much of her life on the surface. For a time, she asks questions about your travels and listens avidly to your answers. Then she gets down to business. Oh yeah, the mushrooms. Mushroom wine is a major thing down here because grapes can't grow without sunlight. So they make their wine out of mushrooms instead. A question, Captain. She tops up her sherry. Some years ago, the nations of the Neath struck an agreement to abandon their research into submarine travel and leave the Z depths untouched. Ah, the agreement about nothing of consequence. Sailors mutter about it when listing the Admiralty's follies. You nod. She raises her glass to her lips. And what is your opinion of this agreement? She asks. For the record, the reason it's called the agreement about nothing of consequence is basically, it's like this. The London Admiralty is like, there is nothing of consequence under the Z, so submarines are illegal. Why would you want a submarine? There's nothing down there. Clearly hiding something. Scoff about it. It's a nonsense. Nowhere should be forbidden to the capable explorer. We can also approve of it. It's probably for the best. The Z's surface is bad enough. God knows what unpleasantness lies below. But we can change our mind later if we wish. But since we came down here for this express purpose, let's scoff about it. Her smile is conspirational. Then we can help each other. I am prepared to finance, in a large part, improvements to your ship that will make it capable of submarine travel. The Admiralty and other powers disapprove of such innovation. Therefore, we will need to be discreet. I have procured experts, laborers, and a workshop. They are well paid and loyal. Here is the address. Meet us there and we can begin our work. On the shore of a gloomy inlet stands a rickety factory. Once, and supposedly still, it was committed to the cutting and polishing of sapphires. Now it is the place where the fierce philanthropist houses her intrepid staff of engineers, the ingenious men and women who will convert your ship into a submarine. So, what we have to do is, there's two phases to this. The second phase is to retrieve a set of Zonar schematics. But to do that, we need experimental modifications at 100. There's a lot of ways we can increase experimental modifications. One way is to spend Z stories to increase the value by 20 per. So with the 3 that we have, if we spent all of them, oh no, not 20 per, 20 for 3. So if we spent 3 Z stories, we would get 20 experimental modifications. If we had 75 echoes, we could fund it to increase by 25. If we had Stygian ivory or outlandish artifacts, we could increase it by 60 or 20, respectively. But, remember that extraordinary implication we picked up at the Salt Lions? Contribute advanced theory. These idiots don't have the first idea what they're doing. Enlighten them. Sacrifice an extraordinary implication for 100 experimental modifications. Basically, having one of these allows you to just straight up skip to the next step. By your character basically doing all the experts' jobs for them by knowing a huge secret. And we're talking about arms now. Okay. Generally, I think the best number of arms is 4. I like 4. Yeah, pretty much. It's actually kind of funny. The truth burns. One engineer begins to laugh, seemingly unable to stop. Another weeps. The tears scorch his face like kettle water. A third frantically tries to write down what you said, but gives up when her third pen combusts in lavender flame. This changes everything, a grease-stained engineer whispers. Later, his colleagues catch him out back, burning his collected volumes of The Transactions of the South Wales Institute of Engineers. Fortunately, your vessel benefits from the drastic adjustment to their perspective. Her turbines whirl, her pumps thunder, a river of cabling runs through her interior, dense as the weave in a Turkish carpet. So yeah, you basically just told them a secret which changes their entire understanding of physics and engineering. And you kind of drove some of them crazy, but now you have the submarine done. Well, partially. The engineers have reached an impasse. It's the sonar. It's unreliable, loud, and stops working below 70 fathoms. But the Admiralty and the Comet must have cracked this back in the day. The engineers brim with conspiracy theories about the old submarine programs. Before the agreement about nothing of consequence, London's Admiralty conducted their submarine research at Station 3. The location of the Conet's research base is unknown, but a number of its scientists relocated to Khan's shadow. Perhaps one of those locations has information you could use. So we have to now go to either Station 3 or Khan's shadow, get the sonar schematics, and come back here to finish this. Yes, Zeno, we have been to Station 3 before. That's why we're going to be going back there. The last thing we can probably do here is try panning for sapphires. Unfortunately, we were ambushed, a native ambush. Perhaps ambush is a strong word, but there's a tiger sitting on a broad mushroom cap asking unflattering questions about your nutritional value. You retreat. So let's cast off from Port Carnelian. Station 3 is up here. So I don't particularly want to... Okay, do you see those birds that just kind of went around the corner of the screen? I do not want to mess with those birds. Those birds are called the Blue Prophets. They are ridiculously fast and have 500 HP as a unit. They are essentially a whirling death blender for ships. Did I mention they're parrots? I wanted to stop at the Isle of Cats, but I can't actually risk both being attacked by a shark and that Alceus class corvette. Bloody hell. Stop following me! I don't think that works, unfortunately. I don't believe that enemies attack each other. Oh, the Promised Sea. Alright, let's actually take care of this thing. Since we're over 60 terror, or over 50, I think, our crew's starting to have nightmares. We can ask them about their dreams, which gets us more terror, but also some, if we succeed, a couple of hints. Or we can ignore them to lose one terror. The captain can't be seen to take these things seriously. I've made it back to London on worse odds before. I once made it all the way back to London with one hull. I thought that that might be the port, but it's not. You know, since we're not going to use it elsewhere, let's stop at this light ship and use our. If you run out of fuel, your ship just stops and you get a couple options, most of which will straight up end your game. Anyway, this is a light ship. They're basically navigational beacons, but they are crewed by a couple people. There's not much you can do here. You can buy fuel for twice the usual London price of 10. Or you can speak to the crew. They long for news of home. If you have recent news from London, you lose 5 terror and gain a Z story. Yeah, there's actually a lot of similarities between this game and FTL, but I think the biggest difference is you never have like a ticking timer on getting through an area in this game. You can always go back to islands you've already visited. As a note, this is one of the 2 tiles in the game that is actually randomized. Oh, I see. You were talking about running out of fuel. Yeah, running out of fuel here is bad. You can pray to the gods for safe release, which can be a toss-up. You can accept a towing charge from people. But basically, they straight up say, like, hey, we'll tow you back to London, but we'll name the price. And, like, you don't really have the option to say no. For the record, these weird spiral islands are supposed to be stalagmites. Oh, boy. This area of the game, the Corsair's Forest, as the name implies, is Pirate Central. Those ships are not actually as badass as they look. They are 90 HP. But still, I don't want to deal with them. This is Guider's Morn, which is, if you can't tell from the overhead view, it's basically a giant city of scaffolding built around a stalagmite. You can see from the image what it's supposed to look like from the side. Step carefully. The Morn is a stalagmite vast as a crag, and its foot has no safe harbors. The Corsair's citadel nestles halfway up. An intricate system of winches takes the strain, and your ship rises slowly from the Z. Her hull creaks in protest. Grizzled sailors groan and cling to stanchions. Higher, higher. Now the Untersee shimmers like glass below. Children clambering in crevices cheer and wave alarmingly. The winch motor slows, and you hang in a cradle next to a red-bowed pirate cutter. Sorry. Yeah, that's Wither. And there's another island, which is Codex, where the people who are exiled from Wither for answering questions go, and they're mute. We actually need veils to get a port report here. But we have good veils, so I'm going to chance it. Yep. A steaming bathhouse on a spur of rock. Water slops over the edge of tubs, out over the edge to join the Z far below. Scarred captains boast drunkenly of the prizes they've taken and the victims they've marked out. You listen from the shadows. Basically, the veils check is to see if you can snoop on the pirates without them spotting you. And the only other things we can do are hear rumors of a pirate poet, which is a bit... The pirate poet was originally a Kickstarter exclusive thing, but around when the sequel was coming out, they decided to make those free for all players. Some landlubbers fear pirates. Pirates fear the poet. Some say she's a clayman who freed herself with the power of verse. Possible. Others insist that she's the personal muse of the king with the 100 hearts. Unlikely. One claims she sails on a living ship made of the still screaming skulls of her victims. More sober voices mutter that no, it's just an Alceus-class vessel. Whatever the truths, few have fought her and survived to tell the tale. Only the bravest of captains risk the lonely parts of the sea where her flag is said to fly. Yet not only does this game have a really good visual aesthetic, the writing is excellent. And the other thing here is explore the Mourne. There's a surprising quantity of actual landscape on the Mourne. It's vertical, admittedly, but once you find the beast paths and urchin roads, you can traverse it as you would a rocky moor, with an additional throatful of lurching terror. Oh, dear. Remember when I said that, the cat could help us automatically win certain land battles? This is actually one of those battles, and we don't have the cat. We should probably run away. You plunge through a washing line, clatter down a flight of unsteady wooden stairs, cut across the fish market, and duck through a colonnade of faceless statues. Your pursuers are gaining on you until the statues, and then they drop back. Disconcerting, but they're gone. Well, at least we got our port report. At the very least, now we're back in familiar waters. And we know that we can pick up a couple more port reports to work things out. All right. See you in just a bit, Dreamer. Anyway, here we are at Station 3, and this is very simple. Search Shed 12. A long, low building propped against the wall, boarded windows, a rusting padlock. Your bosun shatters the lock with a ball-peen hammer. Inside, your lamps reveal dust-choked workbenches strewn with discarded tools. Shelves of cardboard boxes filled with rivets and bolts, washers and screws, blackboards roughly scrubbed. Here's an old lunchbox, its half-eaten sandwiches encased in successive generations of exciting fungus. In a rusted filing cabinet, you find the documents you need, a folder of tea-stained research into Zonar. You leave the rotting workshop quietly and return to your ship. The next time you sneeze, your handkerchief comes away black with the workshop dust that crept into your lungs. That's all we can do at Station 3 for the time being. We can't actually pick up a port report there because it doesn't quite work. That is just flavor text. Fortunately, us straight up having Black Lung now will not, in fact, make us, like, give us health reductions later on in the game. Back to the Sea of the Lilies. I just want to pick up a port report at Wisdom again so I can get some spending money back in London. There's the frogs again. What a bunch of lovely frogs. Yeah, honestly, pretty much. I mean, we're on a coal-powered ship in a cave. There's not a lot of places for it to go. It is a very large cave, admittedly, but... Here's that Wisdom place again. The main thing to do here is just grab a port report. And head out. What I will do, though, is just check the top row a bit to see what's there. Because I'm still below 75 terror. We're still good. We're still below 70 terror, in fact. I'll take this moment to just talk about the game's music, because that's another thing I love about this game. You can actually get the soundtrack on Bandcamp, I think, and every single track is utterly incredible. Oh! Fuck. Oh, no. Oh, dear. That thing, the black thing, purplish black thing up there at the top of the screen, that's the strongest monster in the game. So I'd really prefer not to fight it right now. It has 1,000 HP. It's called Mount Nomad. Luckily, it seems to be going off in a different direction. Yeah, Mount Nomad, it's basically a living... basically how it is first you think it's an iceberg. Then you look closer and think it's an island. And then it moves. Let's run off to the Chapel of Lights. It's getting too close for comfort. Okay, the Chapel of Lights. Do you hear music? Furtive faithful gather in the shadows between the many, many candles. A bell tolls in the chapel tower, cracked iron laughter. Beware, the aisle is full of voices. Eat of the chapel's bounty. A smiling priest unlocks the door of the storehouse for you. Here, he says, eat, but take nothing away with you. Gather intelligence. What occurs here between the darkness and the light? Let's do that first. A smiling priest in a red cassock tends the chapel. The congregation are shy of light. They come and go in little ships, and it's strangely difficult to count them. Perhaps some of them are imaginary. Still, you note the name of a ship or two. So let's eat. Rich and red. They have shark steaks plucked from the sea, thin slices of cavern tuna, translucent and delicate as paper, little crimson cakes flavored with cinnamon and coated with poppy seeds, tomatoes, impossibly ripe and sweet so far from the surface. Gorge yourself. Leave with the juices dripping from your chin. Now, the place we actually wanted to go to up here, and the reason I came up here in the first place, is the Avid Horizon. This is the end. Two vast winged shapes guard a gate of something like resin, smooth but uneven. It is deep gant, the color that remains when all other colors have been eaten. Ice crusts over the crack between its valves. Approach and your breath freezes, falls tinkling in shards from the air. It would be utterly foolish to touch the thing. A merciless wind blows from everywhere to everywhere. It passes without effort through your bridge coat, your flesh, your lungs. The dock lies empty. So, this is a place I've been trying to get to for a bit now, because a couple things we can do here will be important to our money making. First off, we have 100 fragments, and we need 77 to do this thing. You heard a story. The ice by the gate's edge. There was a whisper about a hunting quest and a final revenge. Yes, this is what the rumors meant. A hunter frozen in the ice, hands contorted to claws, mouth agape. With her left hand, she had plucked her own eye from the socket. It lies very close to the surface of the ice. If the stories are true, there's a dark virtue in that eye. Take it, then. But perhaps you should put it in a jar. So, I'll tell you right now, do you remember last session when we promised that guy in Venderbite that we would get him 7 colors? This is one of those colors. The hunter's eyes have the color of pelican deep inside them. Pelican, according to, actually it would be in the hold. Pelican is the color of the deepest sea. Someone has scrawled in the margin, beyond the gate there is a sea more sunless. Well, that's interesting. The main place you can get Pelican in this game is right here at the Avid Horizon, and that's a gate. So are they talking about this gate, beyond which is a sea more sunless? How can you get more sunless than the Sunless Sea? These are very good questions. Now, this is where I'm going to spend my beginner's luck, and it's a 50-50 shot of getting what I need. I'll get something either way that gets me money, but one of them will get me more money and make things easier later on. Let's see. Yes! This is the version that gets me what I need. I've got an outlandish artifact, 3 supplies, an eyeless skull, which is another thing that we need to get paid from the colors guy. This is the color of Irigo, the color of forgetfulness. And an empty mirror catch box, which will be useful later. This is for smuggling sunlight. Apparently, someone came here to be forgotten. Finally, we can get a port report. This stillness is itself of interest to the Admiralty. It is not impossible someone foolish might attempt to open the gate. It is not inconceivable that it might open from the other side. And what then? We are going to have to be a bit more careful about our terror now, so I'm going to leave the light on from this point forward, because our terror has gone up to 80. The way you're supposed to get it is by killing a Lornfluke. A Lornfluke core is also Irigo. You can also get the eyeless skull in a different way that is slightly more difficult and involves a crew member story, but you can always get it by killing a Lorn Fluke. Problem: Lorn Flukes have 400 health. You missed another religious location, Dreamer, but not one with nuns. You also missed us picking stuff up at the end of the world, the Avid Horizon. Anyway, a Zaylor runs to the rail, stripping off his clothes as he goes, beaming rapturously. "Home," he cries. "Home." We could take a 40% luck chance and spend a fuel to try and pick him up, or we could lose one crew member. As well as Stone's attention. He swims south towards the Elder Continent. His head is visible in the faint light of the full stars, silhouetted as he bobs above a wave. Then he's gone. Yeah, I guess so. You remember how Stone is the Mountain of Light from the Elder Continent, so the fact that the sailor was swimming towards there means Stone might have called him away. For one reason or another. I know it looks like we only have one fuel, but we actually have two. Oh! This place. This is a really good setup. This is a fucking ice castle. Dreamer, you are just in time for one of the coolest locations. And yes, Frog, you can explore the abyss with a submarine. This is Frostfound. There's the story bit for not having any fuel, but don't worry about it. We're about to get some fuel. Towers and ramps and galleries and stairs of ice raised and spun like an architect's honey dream. No spider ever wove so complex a web. The towers are utterly pristine, untouched by human life, but a pitiable encampment squats by the dock. Now, normally I would take this opportunity to pick up the tireless mechanic here, but we're actually running low on cash, so I'm not going to. Let's instead take tea with the squatters at the dock. Some of them wear the robes of Iremi riddlefishers. Some look like Withern folk, but even more ragged. But they do seem a little more practical than either of those people. A surprisingly warm welcome. "We're keeping the steps for the Game of Truths," a helpful riddlefisher explains as she fills your cup for the third time. "Every year, the people of Irem and Wither meet here for..." She pauses. "Contests," she finished vaguely. "The difference between a question and a riddle. One day someone will prove themselves enough to enter the castle." You spend a pleasant few hours while the tea is supplemented with Iremi liqueurs, pale withered beer, and something the riddlefisher describes blandly as snake cake. They offer you fuel and supplies before you leave. "We keep enough to spare," the riddlefisher grins. "From time to time a captain gets lost and comes up here, and we always feel bad for them." So, this is one of the best options in the game to go to reduce your nasty stuff. By spending your something awaits you here, and there's basically nothing better here to spend it on. You get supplies, fuel, and terror reduction. If I was to game the system very easily, I could essentially sail around Frostbound until I got the little lantern back, and then just do this again infinitely. But I'm not going to do that because I actually have pride. At least when people are watching. And there's our port report. I accidentally clicked away from the port report before I could read it, but we'll be back here. Frostfound is a very fun location. And there is more to do. But later. So if you thought the Hell Republic was bad, Dreamo, everyone else has already seen this, but this place is going to be fun. Oh dear. We have drownies in the water. You take hull damage at a rate of like 1 per second as long as you're in the whirlpool, and it also keeps you from getting out as easily. Basically slows you down. We lost another crew. We can't afford to lose many more crew because if we go below 5 out of 10, then the ship will start moving at half speed only. The song of the drownies wearies the arms and dismays the mind. Draw in a breath and you can smell the muck of the seafloor. Someone's gone overboard. Sleek heads gather round the flailing shape, and then all of them are gone. Drownies are essentially water zombies. And unfortunately for anyone who drowned here, we are literally right next to a place associated with hell. This is Mount Palmerston. Honestly, everyone's saying that they really want to get this game from my stream. That's absolutely my goal here. I love this company so much. They make such amazing games, and it would be my pleasure if this stream got everyone to go out and grab this game off of Steam. Let's grab a port report here. There was a revolution in hell, and the aristocracy of devils fled here. Here they plot in exile. They don't do us any harm. They stay up there, and we stay down here. If hell's fighting itself, that's good for us all, innit? The main reason I'm here is because I want to buy some more fuel. We now have 1 Echoes. Don't worry, we'll be fine. We can also explore the island. There is an empty cliff top above the bleak waves. Now it blazes with color. Striped tents, colored flames, the music of pianola and kettle drum. Mustachioed women and languorous men play chess, carve bones, eat cats, and polish their terrifying brass weapons. These are Iron Republic privateers, pirates whose practices contravene the very laws of nature. We can attack them, which would be a 50% luck chance, or we can get a 66% chance of eavesdropping. And we succeeded. Gained 1 terror, but they're speaking of a raid on the Khan's glory, from which they stole pieces of prayer, of a boast that a rival band made about stealing the Empress's wedding dress, of a sort of spiced meat which fills the heart with love. But they speak, too, almost coherently, of privateer layers in the Western Wall, of passwords in use, of brass embassy protocols, and of tuning techniques for drawing lost souls close. A buzzing rises in your brain as you listen until your eyes become unfocused and your tongue feels thick and heavy. You creep away before anything worse can happen. But this is an odd and useful miscellany of facts. That's about all we can do here. Let's beeline for Vendor Bite next. Because even though we're at only one echo right now, we are in fact about to windfall into a whole bunch of money. As long as we can get to Venderbite and then London without anything going too horribly wrong. What's for lunch, Dreamo? Nice. Anyway, bats. Let's steer around the bats. I could easily kill the bats, but Xeno made such a stink about it last time that bats are friends that I'm just going to avoid them this time. Well, the interesting spice of that particular lunch is going to contrast well with the current location, which is basically a mummy colony. Oh dear. A Zailor has run mad. She roams the ship, cudgel in hand, smashing comrades to the deck. She cries, "He is angry. Oh, he is angry." Unfortunately, both of these options are very subpar for this because they're high risk and they could end up with us losing too many crew. We're close enough that it doesn't matter that we're going at half speed, but yeah. Your Zailor's weapons roar and down she goes. You recite a hasty funeral for the poor soul and her wretched victim, but who will be next? See now how the full speed ahead option is grayed out? That is because we can no longer go that fast. Oh hey, one of the tomb colonists takes an obvious interest in your crew, specifically our surgeon, the clattery heir. The tomb colonist draws you a little way away from the heir. "Don't tell her you met me," he says in hoarse rasp. "Her mother cut my voice, hoped to fix it so I wouldn't be able to look for my daughter, so I wouldn't want to. Didn't work. Operation's never completely effective. Need to know my daughter's well. Happy, finding enough patients, getting enough to eat, and so forth." In exchange for the simplest news, he explains himself. "I'm her father," he says. "Ordinary engineer, not the sort of parent she would want." Is the stream actually slowing down, or are you just talking about the ship being slow? Here's our port report. Ah. That's unfortunate business. Sorry about that. Anyway. Oh! We can find a nice restaurant here. At the twisty tip of an odd little side street, welcoming yellow light glows from the gilt-littered windows of a restaurant. A sign reads, "Vengeance of Jonah." A beefy tomb colonist bustles up. A grey mustache pokes impertinently out from under his bandages. "Come in! Come in!" It's a cramped little place, but much better lit than most places in the tomb colonies. The scents of the dishes are multitudinous and extraordinary. Are they good? They might be. They might be good. It's difficult to tell. Hey, I suddenly understand where Dreamer got lunch. Not much we can do here at the moment, though, since we have no money. A restaurant is not that useful to us. Let's visit the first curator. So this is the guy who was asking us... he gave us a quest in the last stream to go find him 7 colors. We have 2 of them. The hunter's eye is Pelican. I saw it once. I saw it long ago when I first came here below. Or when first I came here below. My left eye is blind. Should I replace it with this one, it will be no blinder. But perhaps I will see within. It raises the hand with the hunter's eye towards its concealed face. No sound is indescribable, but some should be. This is one. Let us not trouble ourselves with its nuances, its reminders of marsh and gangrene and chrysalid emergence. Take, it says. Its voice is ragged. It gestures at a side table where a squire tusk sits. A pearl tiara is perched jauntily atop the tusk. Both, apparently, are yours. We lost our hunter's eye that we got at the Avid Horizon, but we got a captivating treasure and a hunting trophy. Both of these are very nice items. As for the eyeless skull, yes, I want to forget. At its direction, you place the skull atop a dripstone pedestal. A stalagmite once, now carved with crockets and grimacing faces. Irigo sparks crawl across it. For a moment, you forget what you were doing. Thank you, the curator whispers. Perhaps you have saved me from the sanatorium, and perhaps the emergence will be less painful. Its chest pulses feebly. You accept a single huge black pearl. The curator's fancies grow worse, but it pays well. We got another captivating treasure. That's what we needed to do in Venderbite, and that's our money situation solved for quite a while, actually. Now, unfortunately, our ships going back to London will be fairly slow. I can probably speed it up by pushing the engines to their full limit, but that would make our fuel run out faster, which I don't particularly want. And either way, it might make the engine explode and take away the rest of our crew, which would be even worse. So we're just going to have to grin and bear it. Oh, really? Now? Luckily, this thing doesn't do enough damage to be that much of an issue. Fuel! Oh! Oh, thank goodness. That makes this much easier on me. That also reduced our terror. Yeah, an important thing that this is actually, it took me so long in-game to figure this out, and once I did, it was like a veil had lifted, and I could suddenly do long runs that I could never do before. I did not know for the longest time that fighting and killing enemies, no matter what they are, reduces your terror. Also, we made jokes about Low Barnet last stream. I actually do have an explanation for that. There's a place in London called High Barnet. So the joke is that High Barnet has become Low Barnet because it's underground. The sequel, Sunless Skies, also has a Barnet. It's Sky Barnet. So there's Low Barnet, High Barnet, and Sky Barnet. We're getting a lot of people saying, hey, you need fuel, but we have enough fuel stored up in our engines to make it all the way back to London. And we are being randomly searched by customs. Luckily, we don't have any contraband, which, as I said before, is sunlight, unstamped soul crates, or romantic literature. As soon as the gangplank touches the quayside, the terrors of the deep sea lighten. Walk taller, smile more readily, but what dreams may cling? Your terror is always reduced to 50 at London. Oh yes, romantic literature is contraband. There's actually two kinds of romantic literature in this game. There's romantic literature and approved romantic literature. Anyway, first things first, let's fix the fact that we only have one echo at the moment. Here's how we fix that. You remember those captivating treasures that we got from the quest? Oh my. Teeth bared in a hungry grin. There's something odd about those teeth, as if there were too many of them. This will make quite a dent in my acquisitions budget, but worth it, I think. Yes, worth it. We just got 1,000 echoes, and we have 2 of these. Also, those intriguing snippets that we got from the submarine quest, we can sell those to him or her for whatever this individual is, for 50 each. We could sell the outlandish artifact for 100, but honestly, we don't need more money at this point. And let's go ahead and turn in our port reports. We've got Guider's Mourn. These will get us money and fuel, so that's important. Mount Palmerston. Venderbite. The Chapel of Lights has a funny little bit. There's something about the Untersee that breeds heresy and dissent. I rather think we need to send the Bishop of Southwark out for a good bit of Christian shouting. I hope you intend to tell me that everything is quiet there. Okay, now we have to submit our official report for the Iron Republic. Excuse me, I need to unlock this, and this, oops, and this. Could you place your report inside? Yes, I imagine someone will read it eventually. There's always someone. Wait, this is blank. Yes, both sides. No, I assure you. No, I know, these things happen in the Republic. Consider this an ex gratia payment to cover your costs. So yes, all that time we spent writing down everything that happened in the Iron Republic, the pages just went blank as soon as we got back. Oh, we talking about hand-holding now? Visage, Port Carnelian. Frost found. Is it as beautiful as they say? I doubt it. Poets are notorious liars. But liars make bad poets. A paradox, isn't it? Never mind, your report? Yeah, no, don't worry. This is an NSFW stream. And that's that for port reports. What now? Actually, I'm gonna step away for a minute. I'll be right back. I need to take care of something real quick. I'll be back in about 2 minutes, maybe 3, something like that. Be good while I'm gone. Yes, I did have to take care of my armed Oni GF. Hi, I'm back. Anyway, sorry about that. Here we go. First thing to do, as usual, is just hang around in the docks. Terror reduction for 10 echoes. Sea shanties, good companionship, and the warmth of a pub fire. That brings our terror down by 5, now to 44. Looks like 30 echoes we actually lost. And we got recent news from it. Next, let's hire some crew, because we currently have 3. And let's do it twice. We now have 7 crew, and a new recruit. Aha! Here we go. This character is one of my favorites in the game, the Genial Magician. Good afternoon, Captain. Perhaps I can do your engine some good. No, I'm quite the engineer. Difficult to credit, isn't it? But here are my references. I'll get to work below. Perhaps I should change out of this jacket first, of course. We now finally have a chief engineer. And this is him, the Genial Magician. We can actually take this opportunity to talk to him about himself for the cost of supplies. So let's do that, because I actually do want to do his storyline, because it gets us one of the better engines in the game if you do it right. They actually kind of explain what's going on here. Let's ask about how do we ask about just bluntly about what's up with the hook, or how he came to be an engineer? Which is let's be polite. He gestures carefully with his hook. It makes card tricks difficult, but we know about mechanisms, we magicians. My specialty was mirrors, but there are principles in common. It was a good start, and I found that I needed to go out to sea. Why? Because, Captain, someone owes me a hand. Once a friend, now an enemy. I am looking for a weapon to use against them. If once we find it, I may have a favor to ask you. So, what we basically learn is that he's going out to sea to find a weapon that he can use against the individual that took his hand. And to continue the story, we have to find something called a serpent image. We can find this for sure in Irem, which is at the northeast corner of the map. Or we can get it possibly in Venderbite and a couple other places. For the record, if you hear the word Irem, have any of you played the third Uncharted game and heard about Irem of the Pillars? Because it's the same place. Yeah, and then the hilarious fabrication turns out